So there is a question here that I want us to look at, and I think you can be able to clearly see the question. That's question 5. It says, given that vector OA is 2i plus 3j and OB is 3i minus 2j, comma, find the magnitude of AB to one decimal place. So in terms of vectors, once you see a vector getting labeled as OA or the vector gets labeled as OB, then there's something that comes into your mind. That is positional vectors. So the vector has to get worked out in terms of drawing a triangle, and this can be our triangle that you can be able to use for this matter. We can indicate here at this point, we can indicate B at this point, and have O at this point, which is actually going to act as our origin. So that this is vector OA and this is vector OB. I can indicate here 2i, I can just say 2, 3, it's called a column vector. It is actually coming from this end. We have 2i and 3j. Once it gets written as a column vector, you have to actually drop those letters, which is I and j. I can indicate here 3 and negative 2. Where does it come from? It actually comes from this end, 3i minus 2j. So this has been written as a column vector. So we want to actually get the magnitude. Of course, this is called magnitude, or you can also refer to it as modulus. So you can call it magnitude or modulus. Correct. So either call it magnitude or modulus, or you can also say length. So these people are asking us to get the length of AB. They are asking us to get the magnitude of AB. They are asking us to get the modulus of AB. So you have to get first AB. You want to move from A to B. We want to get vector AB. What do? You'll say AB is equals to AO plus OB. That is vector AO plus vector OB in that direction. You have to respect the direction that a vector is actually having. And we'll actually be able to now say, just down here, that now AB vector, as you can see, is equal to, look at that, negative into 2, 3. Why am I putting this negative here? OA, vector OA is 2i plus 3j. But now you're saying AO in the opposite direction. So if OA is given, look at that. Let me just show you something here. If OA is given as 2i and 3j, but you're saying AO, you're moving against the arrow, you must introduce a negative. Right, then you'll say plus OB. That just obeys the direction OB. It will remain the same. You'll just say 3, then negative 2. Okay, so that gives us negative 2, negative 3, if we use this negative to open the brackets, then plus 3, negative 2. So that negative 2 plus 3, that gives you 1. Then negative 3 plus negative 2, that gives you negative 5. Now we want to get the magnitude. What do? We shall actually say square root of 1 squared plus negative 5 squared. So I'm going to have the square root of 1 plus 25. So the square root of 26 is going to give me the magnitude of that. So the square root of 26, it gives us 5.099. So they say to one decimal place, that becomes 5.1. So you're going to say the magnitude of AB, look at those two drawn lines, magnitude of AB is equals to 5.1 units. Correct. Now let's look at this other question. That's question number 6. The question says, a bus traveling at an average speed of 63 kilometers per hour left a station at 8:15 a.m. A car left the same station at 9 a.m. and caught up with the bus at 10:45 a.m. Find the average speed of the car. What do we need to do? We are first going to draw a line to show the movement of these two different means of transport, that is a car and a bus. And we are told a bus is leaving a station at 8:15. So this is a bus leaving a station at 8:15 a.m. and we have a car leaving the same station. So a car left the same station at 9. Correct. So the bus is moving at a speed of 63 kilometers per hour, but the speed of the car is not known. Let's call it x kilometers per hour. And they end up actually catching up with each other at 10:45 a.m. Right. So obviously the bus was ahead of the car, but the car comes and actually meets the bus and of course overtakes it, because we expect the car to be moving at a higher speed than that of the bus. So we need first to get the distance covered by the bus from 8:15 to 10:45, because its speed is known. So we shall say 10:45, the time the car catches up with the bus, then less 8:15. This is 0, this is 3, then this is 2. So the bus takes 2 hours 30 minutes to cover a particular distance before the car catches up with it. So we shall say 2.5 hours is the time, and the speed is 63 kilometers per hour. So how do you get the distance? We shall say distance is equals to speed times time. Okay, speed 63, time 2.5. We want to see how many kilometers are those. So we shall say so that is the same as, so 2 times 2, that is 4 plus 1, 5, so that's 5/2. So 5/2 times 63, that gives us 157.5. So the bus covered 157.5 kilometers. So 157.5 kilometers. Okay, let's see. The car began the journey at 9, then it catches up with the bus at 10:45. How many hours are those? So we shall say 10:45 less 9. We want to see the time that the car takes to catch up with the bus. That's 45, so it takes 1 hour 45 minutes. But it also has to cover the same distance, 157.5 kilometers. So we want to get the speed of the car. Speed is equals to distance over time. The distance that the car also covers is 157.5. The time it takes is 1 3/4. 1 hour 45 minutes, the same as 1 3/4. So we shall actually have to get the speed of the car. So we shall say 157.5 divided by, okay, 1.75. 1.75 is the same as 1 3/4. You see? So that gives us 90. So that means the speed of the car is 90 kilometers per hour. Thank you for watching, and let's meet in our next video.